Hello, my name is Jim Downs, and I'm a field specialist in forestry for Ohio State University Extension. Today, I am at Vinton Furnace State Forest, which is one of my personal favorite state forests in Ohio, to introduce Eastern Redbud, also referred to as Redbud. One of the reasons why I like this forest so much, perhaps because it was one of the first state forests I had the opportunity to work in as a college student so many years ago, but additionally, this is the home location for our A Day in the Woods program, which is an educational program designed to educate woodland owners and woodland enthusiasts about their woodlands. Eastern Redbud, one of the reasons why I chose to create this video this time of year, as you can see, it produces these very beautiful purple flowers, and it's early April here in southeastern Ohio right now. And this is among the first of our native trees or native shrubs to be able to produce flowers in the springtime. And these flowers are quite showy. One of the interesting features to these flowers is they are edible. They can actually be eaten right off the tree. Many people will add these to a salad to add a little bit of color to that salad. As far as identification features of Eastern Redbud, during the growing season, once the leaves are produced, those leaves will be heart-shaped. The margins of the leaf, or the edge of the leaf, will be entire, so there will not be teeth along those edges. One of the interesting things about this tree in particular is this tree seems to be fairly sensitive to herbicide damage from drift coming from a couple common chemicals or herbicides. Either 2,4-D or dicamba are the most commonly listed herbicides that will negatively affect Eastern Redbud from a problem of drift. The twigs of Eastern Redbud are alternately branched, so the buds will be alternate, and especially the new growth parts of the twig, those parts of the branches that are finer in diameter and out towards the ends, will be very much a zigzag pattern. During the fall, when this tree has buds, those buds will be somewhat bumpy and scaly and have a little bit of a reddish color to them. The bark of Redbud is going to be somewhat of a brownish color, but it's going to be scaly and flaky. As this tree matures, and this is actually a fairly older specimen of Eastern Redbud that I'm standing here next to today, this is a tree that should get to around 40 feet in height at max and maybe 8 to 10 inches around in diameter. There are no really commercial uses of Eastern Redbud from a timber standpoint. However, this plant is commonly planted ornamentally because of these really beautiful showy flowers that it will produce during the springtime. This is a tree that you'll most commonly see growing along the edges of forest because it does need a fair amount of sunlight to survive, and in areas where it's exposed to more sunlight, it will have a tendency of producing more and more of these showy flowers, which is part of the reason why this tree has so many of the flowers, is because it's growing in an area where it essentially is exposed to almost full sunlight during the course of the day. The fruit of Eastern Redbud is going to be a flattened pod. This is a member of the legume family. Those pods will be 3 to 4 inches in length and be fairly flat, fairly skinny, and will contain a number of hard seeds within the center of those. These are edible by songbirds, squirrels, deer, turkey. A wide variety of wildlife species potentially will eat the seeds of this tree, although it's not potentially an extremely highly desirable fruit from a wildlife standpoint, meaning that they're not going to seek it out like they would perhaps a persimmon. One of the interesting things about Eastern Redbud is, while it is a member of the legume family, it actually does not have the ability to fix nitrogen into the soil. So one of the things that many legume plants have the ability to do, such as clover or soybeans, is they have the ability to pull nitrogen out of the atmosphere, which our atmosphere is about 78% nitrogen, and they're actually able to bind that into the soil in a means that is actually usable to plants. But unfortunately, the Eastern Redbud doesn't have the nodules on its root system that allows it to fix nitrogen into the soil. And with that, thank you for watching and have a great day.